Hello, my name is Alberto. Sorry for my bad accent. I know that my English is not so good, but I try to do my best. Today, I want to show you a project that I developed some weeks ago. This project basically is a generator of PyTorch-neural-network. So I create a class that create for you a PyTorch neural network or convolutional neural network. All the things you need is to create a dictionary of parameter and pass this dictionary to the creator of the class, and then the class will create in automatic the neural network for you. This project can be useful for both beginner and skilled people. For the beginner, maybe it can be useful because you can create your first neural network even without writing nothing of the class. So you simply write the parameter and then the network is created. But also for people with experience, because maybe you want to iterate through various network for a project. So instead of changing everywhere things inside the class or writing more class for one for every single network, you simply change the parameter or some parameter inside the dictionary, and then everything change according to that. So it can be very useful to quickly iterate. I will not explain deeply how the class work because basically I write everything on GitHub, and I leave the GitHub link in description. I only show you some of the network that I created with this class and to show you that it works and how can you easily modify everything with very few clicks. The first network that I want to show you is the EEG Net. Is basically it is a neural network developed to analyze a EEG signal, electroencephalographic signal, and is composed by one horizontal kernel and one vertical kernel, followed by another horizontal kernel and a pointwise kernel, but in depth. Yes, basically this is all the parameter of the network, the input dimension, the number of convolutional layers, the number of feed-forward layers, the activation. Basically everything is well explained in the GitHub page. Well, you have write everything, and then you click that, and then the network is created. See, as you can see, this is all the network. For example, the first convolutional layer with kernel 164 and one input channel, the 8 output channel, what's normalization, convolution, what's normalization, etc., etc., etc. For example, we are hard sharing as activation function, and before we have no activation function, maybe we want to change the activation function. We want, who knows, a relu. I simply change this parameter here. I rerun everything, and then there we have a relu activation function without with a simple click. In this file, there are other networks that I called Sakavi networks from the paper Sakavi et al. These networks are always developed to analyze and classify AG samples. And yes, like the EEG net, with a simple click, we can create the network. For example, this is one of the network for the various subject. Convolutional batch activation dropout, convolutional batch activation dropout, etc., etc. And then in the end the classifier. The last example that I want to show you is this little trick. This is the last example that I have to show you. Simply, I set up everything at random, and then when I click the button, it will create a random network. And basically, since everything is random, there can be some bug, not with the class, but with PyTorch, with the handle of the dimension, something similar. But yeah, basically, yeah, this is a random network with a convolutional part, the flattened layer, of course, and there's the forward part. And yes, we can create another one. This is different from the other. For example, we have a Helu, Tanaka, Selu, and then we have Relu, and Hartanaka on the previous one. So yeah, I can simply create infinite network. Yeah, of course, sometimes there is some error, not for the class. Only the error is related to some problem with PyTorch. I don't know, some with a random input, the random chosen of dimension should create some problem, I think. Yes, this is all.